Welcome to K-Tech Information Systems. Our product is Legal Matterpoint, or LMP. In this segment, we will talk about services. Services are your practice areas. So at this point, some significant planning is required. You'll want to consider, what are my practice areas? What are those matters that you regularly receive from clients? What are the key steps in each of these practice areas? What are the hard deadlines or milestones for each practice area? You need to give this some thought before configuring LMP to make the most of the system and to avoid rework, recreating your milestones at a later date. What practice forms do I use for each practice area? Get those lined up. Get them as honed and polished and refined as you want. Keep in mind, keep them streamlined and efficient. What variable data do I gather from my clients and use for each practice area? What information do I repeatedly communicate to a new or existing client about each practice area? Then for each practice area or service, as we call it in LMP, we'll set up, with that information that you've assembled, your milestones for each matter, the necessary intake questionnaire for each matter, and the info docs for each matter. Keep in mind there's a client portal that comes native with LMP, so you're setting up your system to make it as easy as possible for your client to work with you as their attorney. Leverage the system to take much of the burden off of you and your staff as possible. So essentially you're saving time and making more money. You're looking to achieve automation and uniformity. The system is a tool. It doesn't replace you as the attorney, your legal judgment, or anything like that, but there's no reason that the business of practicing law can't be made more automated and uniform, which results in greater profitability for your practice and a much more robust experience for your client. So let's go ahead and jump into LMP and take a look with how you configure your services within the system. When you first log into the system, you're in the admin console, but then you just simply open up the menu, go to Services, and you will see your existing services, and this is also where you will manage your services or practice areas. Let's take the general warranty deed, the sample we were using in the merge docs example. You have your details, your milestones, which are essentially the key tracking points for the type of matter. So for a general warranty deed, you're going to want to add whatever steps are important to you. There is no preconceived motion. You basically build your milestones to support how you practice in this area. You can set the relative number of days that this will show up in your work queue from the prior step. So let's say that we have review the referral documents provided by your client. You probably want to do that within 1 day of matter activation. There's the step for that. Then you would add the next one. It's going to be relative to when you reviewed the referral. So you're going to want to draft the deed, and it's going to be perhaps the same day, let's say. The estimated days to complete governs when it'll show up in your work queue. So then, after drafting the deed, you're going to want to send the deed to your client to review, perhaps. So you can do that the same day. And note that that must occur relative to the prior step. And you can make it relative to multiple steps as well. But you can do that on the same day. At least I would think. You may decide it takes you 5 days to do that. Doesn't matter. You configure the system how you want it. So once you've sent the deed to the client for review and approval, the deed will be executed. What's a reasonable number of days? I picked 3 days after that to have the deed executed. And then finally, the deed recorded might be a day after that. You want to do that pretty quickly, I would imagine. So the point being, you can set your timeline for your workflow on each type of representation how you want it, not how I want it. Now the questionnaire, we've already set that up. Those are the key tracking steps, or the key data elements rather. And then something new is the info docs. As we talked about at the beginning of this segment, it's very powerful. So perhaps you have an FAQ document that answers the most common questions your client might have about a general warranty deed. You prepare that FAQ document, turn it into a PDF, or you could use it as a Word document, upload it into the system, and there it is, available. It'll be available in the client portal when you receive this type of referral. Let's say you do estate planning and you have a more detailed intake document, an intake form. You can upload that. It's as simple as that, and you can imagine how powerful this is. Now, where did those categories come from? If you go into the admin console and miscellaneous app settings, you have to set up your document categories ahead of time. But again, that's very easy to do. You can do it on the fly. So there you have, we set up the general warranty deed matter type. Your info docs are there. Imagine a client referring this type of matter through the client portal. They pull up the FAQ document. It opens up in as a PDF file. And essentially here you could tell the client whatever you want them to know about a general warranty deed. And I use this quite a lot. It's extremely powerful. It cuts down on a lot of time answering questions that I get asked every time on a particular type of case. Let's say you have an estate planning matter, you might have a more involved intake form. So here the client could download that, pre-populate it, and have a good start in preparing for that first meeting with you. So this is extremely powerful. It's a huge time saver in practice, and I can't overemphasize that. And it's extremely easy to set up. If you like what you saw during this segment, please follow these simple instructions to start your free trial. Thank you for considering Legal Matterpoint.